Let me paint you a picture. We are taking the internet to its inevitable conclusion. The utility of the internet is plateauing and the harm is easily outpacing it. To keep it simple, it does more harm than good. It no longer connects us, it divides us. It's been corporatized, scientifically formulated to systematically rob and clutch our attention, to keep us plugged in. Lies, half-truths, and viral disinformation means that finding truth in just about anything is nearly impossible, and AI is on the course to worsen it tenfold. Is the post-internet world really better off than it was before? What did the world look like before the internet? Information was almost entirely centralized, and a handful of trusted institutions controlled its flow. Government, news networks, media publishers, etc. If I had to use one word to describe the internet's effect on the world, it would be chaos. Although chaos carries a lot of normative load. So perhaps a better term would be entropy. Entropy isn't just a law of thermodynamics, it's a law of nature. Things get diluted, spread out, and mixed together. All life on Earth is just nature's manifestation of the sun's energy through entropy. Think about it. That's crazy. Pure energy from the sun gets absorbed by anything that photosynthesizes, fragmenting and redistributing the energy throughout the planet. You think you're a carnivore? No shot. Every single calorie you eat comes from a ridiculously large amount of ridiculously tiny nuggets of sun energy from all of the vegan food on Earth. I just confirmed that you're a soy boy. If this natural entropic progression isn't exclusive to energy, what else does it apply to? Well, I think it happens to information. It happens to power. The internet is a conduit for entropy. So what do I mean by that? In the days before the printing press, the best information was only accessible to those on top of the societal pyramid. So then came the printing press and the mass production of print. And so the best information was available to anyone with money in their pocket or access to a public library. The problem that persisted through every new innovation was a centralized source. Only the approved information could reach the masses. Now, with the internet, all the information in the world can be shared to all the people in the world from any person in the world at any time. The progression of entropy at its finest. The democratization of information. But is this even a good thing? Well, no, but it's not a bad thing either. It just is.
It is what it is.
Hey, you're not allowed to pitch in. This is a scripted video. Checkmate. Entropy is a neutral force. There are trade-offs. It changes form, but the balance remains consistent. At the end of the day, that's exactly what entropy is. A disordered dilution that is precisely equal to the sum of its parts. We have more access to information than ever. We also have more exposure to disinformation than ever.
Fake news. Sir, go ahead.
On one hand, decentralized information is great if you believe the world is under the control of a handful of supremely powerful, greedy, screwed up people, which it almost certainly is. It's just a question of whether they can be trusted. On the other hand, the quality of information is as low as ever. The endless competition for our attention, bred by the internet, has majorly contributed to this problem, with tweets, titles, headlines, and articles sacrificing accuracy of information for outrage factor. Unfortunately, it's the most effective vehicle to elevate engagement. At least in a pre-internet organization or institution, there is some level of internal intellectual diversity that would inherently encourage self-accountability. But now, any biased fool with a keyboard or a phone can spread bad information or an uninformed opinion to thousands or even millions. As power in our world experiences entropy, so does influence and fame. With the advent of social media came the rise of mini and micro celebrities, aka influencers if you want to use a nicer word. But there's something that exposes us to a much higher level of psychological warfare. Cutting edge AI. I'm sure you've seen the deepfakes, those fake ads that steal the likeness of CNN reporters, public figures, podcast hosts, what have you, to fraudulently endorse products.
Here's a fake video of Joe Rogan endorsing a product.
Well, look, that Alpha Grind product is all over TikTok. If you go to Amazon and you type in libido booster for men,
or even the deepfake of the Ukrainian president declaring surrender that went viral on Twitter. For now, it's manageable because it's identifiable, but the problem will get worse with time as the standard of proof will have to skyrocket after fake video approaches indiscernibility from real footage.
Alright, hold on a second, Meat Puppet. As I'm editing this video in the Shadow Realm, turns out OpenAI has come out with this monstrosity. Nothing that you see on screen is real. It's all completely AI generated. Anyway, carry on.
What's even scarier to me are the covert AI chatbots swarming the internet like a disease, and they're doing so under everybody's radar. We can't even trust that we're interacting with real people anymore. Comment sections are riddled with them, and they're becoming increasingly harder to spot. Even content channels themselves are infected. I've come across dozens of eerie, uncanny channels that discreetly use AI-generated voices and scripts. For now, they've been relatively harmless and inoffensive, but wait until they get into politics and modern discourse. Remember the GameStop short squeeze?
Say bots are responsible for a large amount of stock recommendation currently being posted to the online group.
AI bots using illegitimate and stolen Reddit accounts were found spreading FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, as a tactic to influence the sale of GME stockholders and curb the squeeze, of which the sole beneficiaries were corporate whales that stood on the multi-billion-dollar losing end of this uprising. This is just one example of how AI can act as a Trojan horse to set the narrative of public opinion. Just imagine the potential for a minute. These bots can steer public opinion at will. How would we ever know what's genuine and what's a manipulation? Even from people we know and trust, how can we know if their opinion wasn't influenced by a manipulation? Politics, elections, wars, the potential is frightening, and sooner or later, the human race is going to have to wake up on this matter. Not so hot take, but it takes an exceptional person to actually seek out raw facts and come to their own informed conclusions. That being said, most opinions you hear are just uninformed parroting.
No, you're not a fucking legend.
And that fact considered, the potential for manipulation is. Now, I know I'm speaking as if the internet is all bad, and of course it's not. ChatGPT helped me write sample scripts for this video to feed me ideas about structure and vocabulary. You can get an entire university-level education on YouTube videos alone. Seriously, the amount of self-taught skills I got from the internet is ridiculous. There's a yin and a yang to everything. Without darkness, light cannot exist. I'm more informed than I could have ever hoped to be when it comes to skills, concepts, and principles, but never have I been more clouded, confused, and jaded about the facts of what's actually happening on the ground in my own reality. I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like I said, it's neither positive nor negative, just a change in form. It's not as if disinformation didn't exist before the internet. Of course it did. Trusted institutions pre-internet got things wrong all the time and straight up lied for their own benefit. The only difference is that we were less confused by the lack of dissent. Fewer opinions equals less confusion, less disorder, less entropy. We were still malinformed, just confidently malinformed. And when hippies started getting stoned and realizing that the war and the establishment is like totally bad vibes, man, government ran disinformation campaigns and initiated the war on drugs. They largely succeeded, but it marked the start of a new era for entropy. It continues to plow forward, and the corporate bot farms are just a panicked improvisation aiming to undo the entropy bred from the internet. Entropy is good in some ways and bad in others, but confusion is arguably the worst part of it. So how might we solve this new problem of boundless confusion? Is it even possible? Well, I'm not sure. But you want my advice? Just turn it off, bro. Just get off the internet. I know you think you need it, but you don't need it. You can restructure your life in little ways that doesn't involve the poison of the modern internet. It may not be the best solution, but for your sanity, it might be. It's been way too chaotic for the past few years, and it's bound to get worse before it gets better. I can personally say that my quality of life improved immensely after I deleted all my social media. Everyone you love has your phone number, and if you really want to maintain that line of communication with acquaintances, just delete the app from your phone. It'll always be accessible from your computer. Stop waiting for an e-girl. Aren't worth the consequences. I'm not the first one to tell you this, and I won't be the last. Go out there and live your lives, you beautiful Anyway, that's just some food for thought. Like, subscribe, comment, discuss. Love you.